What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week of Hero or Zero here on the Heroes for Hire podcast. My name is Shaun Secret Meehan, and joining me as always is my partner in crime, Conor Warsler.
Maybe sound like Henry Kissinger. They call me Conor War Crime Lawler.
Not War Crime Lawler, that's your brother, of course.
He went off the deep end early. We never got him back. So, Shaun, this is Hero Zero. This is the show where we choose one comic book character every single week. We talk their good points and their bad points, and we generally just give everyone a bit of a rundown of everything to do with that character. Now, I normally cover DC characters, which I have been doing because I've read what the show was meant to be. And
diligently, I have stuck to what we said this show.
And I'll be honest with you, I have the respect. I have the respect for the show that I stuck to the brief. But somebody...
And me? What of me, Conor?
And what of little Shaun? Well, little Shaun has been, for the last 3 weeks, I would say, going rogue. And he has been just doing his own thing. And he started covering massive Marvel storylines that are much too big for one episode. So now we bring you Secret Wars Part 3.
Final as well.
The final one, is it?
The final one, I managed to wrap everything up. So the other episodes covered about 3 issues each. This one, we have to knock out 4 issues, excuse me. So, buckle up.
I mean, I'm going to ask one follow-up question. How much do you need from me?
I'll just talk. If you want to go make a cup of tea or something, I'll just start talking. And then
I'll just every so often just put audio of me going, very good.
I've got enough of those recorded from over the years. That's fine.
Oh, it has to be. There's got to be some audio of that. If this is somebody's first episode, I would go back to part 1 if I was going to start with a Secret Wars.
Yeah.
But if it's your first episode, you don't have to do anything. Just chill out. But if it's your second or above, we'd really appreciate 5 stars, a like, a follow, a share, whatever way you can support the show. That would really, really help us out. We are currently going for 150 5-star reviews on Spotify before the summer solstice. And Shaun,
folks,
This might tip us over the edge.
We do be close to that whole...
We do be close. And secondly, we are hosting a Patreon hangout on May 3rd. So that is Saturday next week.
Yes.
We are hosting a hangout with all the patrons. And basically, if you're over on the Patreon, you're an automatic invite. It's a Google Meet call. You jump on the call with us. It happens about 1:30 Irish time. So not quite sure about just time zones.
Google that for your own region, please.
Yeah, just make sure. And what happens is it's normally 2 hours. We jump on, we have a bit of crack, we have a bit of a chat, and you can just kind of ask anything you want. Normally we have some sort of theme or subject that we cover, like best Marvel movie, best DC movie, who would win in a fight, the best chair.
You better believe it, listeners. We definitely have something planned for this live stream hangout.
We're not going to make it up 5 minutes before.
No, we're not going to scramble right before we go live.
So if you want to get invited, by the way, if you're not a Patreon, and if you are not a patron, I should say, and you want to get an invite to the show, that can still happen. All you got to do is send us a message on Blue Sky, on Instagram, on the Facebook group, maybe on Twitter if you're still on Twitter. Just kind of send us a message wherever you are, and all you have to say is, hey, I'd like to get an invite. We'll add you in, right? So you're part of all the patrons. Don't worry about it. But patrons, as I said, automatic invites. You don't have to do anything. I think that's about it, Shaun. I think we've kind of covered everything, which means it is now up to you. I hand the floor over to you.
Conor, are you sure there's nothing else to talk about, please?
We covered, we've a Patreon movie review coming out.
That's coming out? Yeah. Let's talk about that for 15 minutes, you know? I don't want to do this.
We got nowhere to go.
Okay. So, at the end of part 2 of my Secret Wars report...
Yes.
Dr. Doom, who had recently created Battleworld after all of the universes were destroyed, he killed both the Phoenix Force-empowered Cyclops and also Stephen Strange. So immediately... Conor has his hand in the air.
I have my hand up. Now, you can't see me, but I have my hand up for Shaun. Just really quickly, are we throwing in what you missed? in this one? Because
Well,
I know you didn't do it for the last one.
Didn't do it on the last one. I have no intentions, honestly, of doing it for this one.
just barren and true of like, no, fuck that. I'm not doing it.
Listen to them. They're good episodes. I listened to them before this.
Catch up or fall off. We don't care.
Yeah, we're a train going one direction, folks.
We're not going to slow down to pick you up. So,
Not at all. Trains can't slow down.
We started off just normal Marvel Universe, then all the worlds started colliding, Doctor Doom takes over, becomes God, creates his own world, then starts killing superheroes, and now all of the superheroes from Marvel, the mainline universe, have ended up on Doctor Doom's planet, but Doctor Doom has convinced everyone there that he's God, and that's where we left it.
Thank you for doing the recap for me. I really do appreciate it.
No problem at all.
So they hold a state funeral for Sheriff Strange. Saying like, wow, it's really terrible that someone killed Sheriff Strange.
Who could it be?
Definitely couldn't have been Doom. Doom is God. Doom is infallible, Connor.
Doom told us he didn't do it. So
and we gotta believe Doom because he's God. So, that night after the funeral, there is a secret space below a statue of Stephen Strange. That's a lot of S's for a man with a bit of a lisp.
Yeah.
So there's a trapdoor leading to another area of Doom's castle.
Okay.
In there, suspended in just this white glowing void, is Owen Reese, the Molecule Man.
Right.
So at the point where all of the universes died, Doctor Doom, Stephen Strange, and the Molecule Man killed all the Beyonders. All of the Beyonders' power, they're extra-dimensional beings, gods upon gods. All of their power went into Owen Reese, and he is now funneling all of that power into Doctor Doom. He is a conduit.
I thought Doom had the power, so you're telling me Reese is the one with the power.
Reese is the one with the power, but Reese is aware enough to know that he shouldn't be a god. Because there's a bunch of Molecule Men in every universe, but they're all the same. Now that they're all together, Owen is insane. He has multiple personalities in his head at all times.
Fantastic.
But he has the presence of mind to be like, I shouldn't be God. Stephen Strange didn't want it, so Doom has all the power.
Is there anybody else in the room willing to be God? Doom is just like kicking a rock in the corner.
I guess if no one else.
I suppose if you want me to do it.
So when Doom walks down the stairs, Owen Reese says, "Did you bring me any food?" And Doom's like, "No, I didn't bring you any fucking food, Owen. You don't need food. You exist on energy." And he's like, "But I still feel hunger." But Doom is like, "No." So that's just a Molecule Man is very hungry in this universe all the time, and he's also insane.
And I would say, look, and this might not be foreshadowing for what's about to happen, but if I was, say, channeling a godlike power through somebody else,
yeah,
I would be incredibly nice to that person.
You'd want to keep them happy, wouldn't you?
Because if they weren't happy, then they stop channeling that power to me, and then they have the god power for themselves.
Yes, exactly, Connor. So after this, they just have a talk about the nature of reality and stuff like that. But after this, Valeria Richards, Valeria Von Doom in this reality, is head of the Future Foundation, head of security, basically, organises a hunt for the survivors from the previous universes. So the people who survived on the life rafts from the other universes. And so we see as the reader that Thor, Jane Foster, landed in Doomguard within the Thor Corps. So within the police service that is just made up of Thors. Black Panther and Namor end up in Egyptia, which is, as you might guess, Egypt, Connor.
North Carolina.
Captain Marvel ended up with Baron Sinister in his territory. The Black Swan ended up in Doomstat, like in the castle. And Thanos ended up at the Shield, which is the wall between the cities and the thriving part of Battle World.
Which you described as, in Game of Thrones...
the wall.
The wall.
Yeah, and it separates them from, like, the zombies and the annihilation wave and stuff like that. So, Valeria Richards has a fucking badass moment, and she says, I want to know what really happened. Because she's sending out people to hunt for all of them. I want to know what really happened. I want to know who they are. I want to know what they're capable of. But most of all, I want to know why they scare God so badly.
Oh, because they're going to start questioning things.
Yeah.
Why, if God is God, like if Doom in this scenario is the God, you would be very confused as to, well, like, you're God. Why are you scared of these random people?
Yes, and Valeria Von Doom, is a genius. And God is her father. So she's like, there's a reason you fear them. So, 3 weeks pass in the story. Someone is going around to all of the various baronies in Battleworld. They're calling themselves the Prophet, and they are talking about how Doom is not the god, how this world is fake, and how we should all rise up against Doom. That
sounds like a hater.
You what, sorry?
Sounds like a hater.
A bit of a hater.
A bit of a hater now.
That'll come up.
Good.
So, Black Swan, who, if you remember, was one of the first people we met who explained what incursions were in the story. She is at Castle Doom with Doom and offers to help him. Because Doom is the one who recruited her. Years and years.
Yeah, she's the one that kind of fucked it up, to be honest.
Yeah, they started blowing up worlds instead of killing molecule men, which is what Doom wanted. Valeria has not been able to find any of the survivors from the life rafts. All they have found is these strange little drones that are going around and collecting data. And then they analyse what data they were looking for, and it matches up with their own data. So they got rid of the background radiation from Battleworld, and there's one spike of radiation underneath the Doctor Strange statue in Castle Doom. So now Valeria knows that's the source of God's power.
See, she's nearly smarter than her dad, her real dad.
Her real dad, her real birth dad, yeah.
Yeah.
She is a genius. Like, she is arguably smarter than Doom, even.
Yeah, okay. And that's kind of why he loves her, but simultaneously, it's also very dangerous because she's just smart enough to figure this shit out.
Exactly, and she started this, like all it took was her father being afraid, and she was like, oh, there's something going on here, and she's pulling that thread now. Cut to an unnamed part of Battleworld. Both Reed Richardses are working together. So, the main Reed Richards and the Maker, who is evil Reed Richards from the Ultimate Universe.
Some say both are evil Reed Richards.
Some would say, but one is definitely more evil than the other, let's be honest.
One is full evil, and one is, no, I'm a good guy.
One thinks he's a good guy, at least.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So throughout this, I'm going to just call them, Reed is the main Marvel Universe Reed, and then the Maker is the Ultimate Universe. That's how we're going to refer to them.
You have to remember they're both Reed Richards.
They're both Reed Richards. So Reed wants to defeat Doom, and Maker wants to destroy Doom, is the distinction here.
So you're telling me evil Reed Richards wants to destroy things?
I know, I was as surprised as anyone.
Yeah.
And then Reed poses the question, okay, but what happens to Battleworld after Doom is gone? Does it remain? Does it fall apart? Is this just the end of everything all over again? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
And they're like, we don't know. All we know is we want to stop Doom.
Yeah, it's a thing of like, what if the thing that we make is worse than whatever the world that we're in now, and then you need like a hero to have the big heroic moment to be like, it can't be. Whatever it is, it fucking can't be worse than this.
It's gotta be fucking better than this, like.
Especially from Reed's point of view. He's like, well, if Doom is God and he's fucking my wife, that's pretty bad.
I'm gonna kill that man.
Yeah.
So, the Reed Richards has sent both Spider-Men to follow where the drones that Reed had sent out to follow to where the spike of radiation is. So Peter Parker and Miles Morales arrive at the statue of Stephen Strange. And they're like, okay, the scanner is saying we should be here, but there's nothing here. I don't know what's going on. And then Valeria speaks up from the bushes and says, oh, there's a trap door. I found it earlier.
Oh, shit. And so how does she feel about these outsiders kind of coming in? Because to her, she doesn't know them.
She doesn't know them at all. But she says, you might as well go down. They invite her to come along. And she says, no, I don't want to go down. Despite everything, I'm still a kid. And I'm not emotionally ready to handle the truth.
That's how smart she is.
Yeah.
She's so smart that she knows that she's not emotionally ready to handle that thing.
Which is something that Reed Richards does not have.
No. His daughter has self-awareness, which Reed does not.
Yes, exactly. And neither does Doom.
Yeah.
So she asks, the one thing she wants to know is she asks about Sheriff Strange. And she said, did anyone from either life raft kill him? And Peter Parker says, no, of course we didn't. To which Valeria replies, I knew that already. So she knows that Doom killed Strange.
See, fucking Valeria's going to take him down.
Valeria, is putting up... Throughout this comic, it keeps cutting back to Valeria specifically. And she keeps putting the story together herself.
And I mean, what age is she now in this story?
15, maybe.
Right, okay, cool. That's such a good protagonist for the story as well, that, we're with her and she's, a detective.
Yeah.
Working backwards from where she is.
And you have to remember, she started, she has all the fake memories. So, she thinks this is the world. Yeah,
so she has had those memories implanted in her that she's like, I've been here all my life. This was always the world. He was always my dad. She doesn't have even that, part of her brain that's telling her something might be wrong. So that's how smart she is.
Exactly. She is able to think past all of Doom's pre-programming.
Fucking hell.
So the Spider-Men go down into the chamber where Owen Reese is just sitting. Owen asks them, did you bring me anything to eat? Peter Parker's like, no, Owen, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I wasn't expecting to meet anyone here. I didn't bring anything.
Miles is going to have a sandwich.
Miles pulls a hamburger out of his pocket.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, you can have this. It's been in my pocket. And Peter is like, hang on, that's been in your pocket. Battleworlds existed for 8 years. Is that an 8-year-old hamburger? And he's like, I don't think stasis counts. And then Peter says, I don't think... We've been out of stasis for 3 weeks, so at the very least, that's a 3-week-old hamburger you've been carrying around.
Yeah, but it's McDonald's, so it'll just last. It's fine.
There's no meat in it.
No, it's not going to degrade. It can't get any worse from its stationary position.
However, Owen is happy just to have food, and so he eats it immediately. And he tells the Spider-Men the whole story of how they got the power.
Okay.
So they go and report back to the Mr. Fantastics, both of them. Meanwhile, Captain Marvel is in Baron Sinister's territory. She convinces him to rebel against Doom, which he was kind of already thinking of doing anyway. T'Challa, Black Panther, and Namor, they find a hidden island where Doctor Strange had a separate sanctum set up, where he had the Siege Courageous, which came up very briefly in an X-Men report a while ago. It is a device that allows you to teleport, but it comes from Arthurian legend, and it gives you new life, is how it's portrayed.
So you're telling me it's a MacGuffin?
It's a MacGuffin, but it doesn't actually give you new life, but it gives you opportunity, is the
vague enough that we can work around it.
Exactly. So Namor takes charge of that, and T'Challa takes the Infinity Gauntlet with all of the gems.
I mean, as things go, I think T'Challa's kind of come out better in that exchange.
He has, but there is a nice little discussion between the two of them where Namor says, you should probably take that, because I have proved I can't be trusted.
There was like, honestly, I will probably be a shithouse. If you give me that, I will take over.
And then the story cuts, and this is one of my favourite things, the story cuts to Thanos. So Thanos has been detained within a cell inside of the shield, the wall that separates Battleworld from the Badlands, basically.
Right.
And it cuts to him and he's talking. And he's having a conversation with the wall. This shield that protects everything. And then the panel switches and it's Ben Grimm's face.
What?
So you'll remember last time Dr. Doom turned Johnny Storm into the sun.
Yes.
He turned Ben Grimm into the wall.
That's just classic Doom shithousery. I mean, if you've listened to the other report, we love Doom just being a shithouse. And Doom just being like, yeah, put Johnny's safe. Don't worry about it, Sue. Yeah. Sure, he's gotten a tan. He's
he's right up there, girl.
Just look at it. But now she can also look at the wall. And she can see Ben. Sure, look, all of her friends are hanging out.
That's it. And Ben's doing good work. You know, he's protecting everyone.
It's what he always wanted. He wanted to be a big wall.
And Ben is sentient as the wall. So
perfect.
The entire time he's been there, he has been thinking, I am doing good work. I am doing God's work. I am protecting everyone.
Because it wouldn't be enough for him to just be the wall. He has to also be aware, one, that he's a wall, and two, he has to worship Doom for being so kind to make him a wall.
Exactly.
Okay.
And Thanos tells him the truth. He tells him the whole story, everything that's happened up to this point. And Ben stands up. And he's fucking massive.
Does he also get up to the sun and take Johnny back down?
He doesn't. Johnny is the sun for the entire time in this report.
Unfortunately, Johnny's too far gone.
But Ben stands up and he starts walking towards Doomstat. Meanwhile, Captain Marvel and Mr. Sinister attack Doomstat, leading the followers of the Prophet. And the Prophet is revealed to be Maximus the Mad of the Inhumans, who has a lot of experience about leading a crowd to take down a ruler.
He that's his main thing, really.
Yeah, and he has just drummed up support of, like, everyone's sick of living under Doom's thumb, so he leads a charge against Doomstat. Then also the Thor Corps arrived because Jane Foster convinced them all of Doom's lies, because they believed her because she is worthy to wield Mjolnir.
Lads, he's not the Messiah, he's a very naughty boy, is coming to a head.
And also, at the same time, Maestro, who is a smart version of Hulk who has lived for millennia, releases an army of Hulks as he wants to overthrow Doom and take over as ruler of Battleworld.
And it's at a point like this where you're getting attacked by, like, Captain Marvel and all the Hulks and all the Thors and big giant Ben Grimm and Thanos and all of them. It's at the exact point that really you'd want to be really close to whoever it is giving you the god powers, because you wouldn't want them failing you at this exact moment when you need them the most.
Absolutely, Connor.
Okay.
So, with Doom is distracted by the battle going on. So he is just watching all of this on his screens in Doomstat. The Reeds both have the plan. They made the plan that Star-Lord is now going, because Star-Lord's here. Remember, guys.
I feel like he's the weak one in the group.
Well, he is going to pilot the ship, the life raft, into Castle Doom while everyone's distracted, so that they can steal the source of Doom's power.
Right, okay.
So, Reed Richards contacts Black Panther, and he just says, it's time. T'Challa jumps from a remnant of the shield now that Ben Grimm has stood up, but there's still bits of wall left all over the place. He jumps down from that, and he lands in front of all of the Marvel zombies. But T'Challa, the Black Panther, is the king of the dead.
Oh.
And so they obey him.
Fuck off.
And he points, and Namor opens the Siege Courageous, and it's this doorway. And he points and says, glory and honour. And then all of the zombies also say glory and honour, and they run through the portal.
Fuck off, what a part of the story.
It's the coolest shit in the world.
T'Challa's whole life has led him to that one moment where he's like, finally, I have a zombie army.
Yeah, and he's fucking using them.
Yeah.
So, when Maestro arrived with all of the Hulks, he arrived on an airship, like a SHIELD helicarrier type thing. And all of the Hulks, it's a cool scene because he just says, world breakers, go. And they all just jump off of this ship and land and start running towards Doomstat.
If you're Doom, by the way, imagine how Doom doesn't get scared. But there's had to be a point where he sees the big thousands of zombies and all the Hulks and all the Thors and all of a big Ben Grimm coming towards him, and he's just like, I may have gone and goofed here. I feel like I'm in too deep.
At this point, he's not even that worried, to be honest.
Because he's still God.
He's still God. And this will be proved later on.
Okay.
So the big thing, grabs Maestro's ship out of the air and kills Maestro immediately.
Is that good or bad for us?
That's that's neutral for us, I would say.
Okay, cool.
Because then, if you'll remember briefly, I touched upon this in episode 2, but Franklin has a Galactus outside of the Citadel that he just plays with as a toy. So the Thing starts fighting Galactus controlled by Franklin Richards.
Fucking hell. Jesus Christ.
And they're just punching each other.
And if anyone doesn't know, Galactus, he eats planets. That's his whole thing.
Exactly. Now, he doesn't have the planet-eating powers because he is just a puppet for Franklin Richards.
Does he have the little short shorts?
He does have the little short shorts. It's peak Galactus.
It's classic move. It's classic Galactus move.
And then, as they're fighting, Ben learns that Franklin is Susan Storm's son. And Ben loves Susie. So he refuses to continue fighting him. He says, you do what you gotta do, kiddo. And then Franklin kills Ben.
Fucking hell.
Because even in death, Ben Grimm is the nicest man in comics.
Because he can't possibly not be the nicest man that's ever lived. It's just within him at all times.
Yeah, exactly. So as that's going on, the goddamn annihilation wave arrives, which is a bunch of mechanical tech bugs, and Thanos is riding one of them.
And you're still saying to me Doom is not worried?
He is now.
Not the bugs.
Not the bugs. He teleports down from his citadel to join the battle. And so, while this is happening, Valeria realises, oh, this is a distraction. And then she takes her mother, Susan Storm, and takes her away from the Citadel. Because she's starting to figure out the plan.
The plan of Doom or the plan of the heroes?
The plan of the heroes.
Right, okay.
So, what happens next? Star-Lord crashes the lads into Doom's castle. They go straight through the wall. Both Reed Richardses are there. Star-Lord stays behind to fix the ship as they go off to find the source of Doom's power. While Star-Lord is fixing the ship, the Black Swan approaches him and is like, what are you doing here? And Star-Lord tries to talk his way out, but she starts beating the ever-loving shit out of Star-Lord.
Oh, okay. I feel like that's an unfair fight.
It's pretty unbalanced. She kicks him into the roots of... So you remember... Dr. Doom's throne is in the World Tree, Yggdrasil. It's like this massive...
I don't remember that, but vaguely, yes.
It was said in episode 1, but that was a few weeks ago.
Sean, come on.
So, his throne is built into Yggdrasil. Kicks him into the roots of the World Tree. And the whole time, I neglected to mention this because it works better in a visual medium. The whole time Star-Lord's been in this story, he's been chewing a toothpick. Right?
You know he's going to do something cool with the toothpick.
And he takes the toothpick, stabs it into the World Tree, and the next panel is I am Groot.
Fuck off.
Yep. So now Groot is fucking the size of the World Tree, the size of the castle. And just mowing through, lads. He explodes out of the castle, breaks all the walls from inside.
We are Groot. Fucking we are Groot.
It's such a hype moment. Valeria managed to get Susan out just in time. And they meet the Reeds. They meet both versions of Reed Richards.
Sue's like, wow, both of you are incredibly handsome men.
Both of you are equal assholes, actually.
Yeah, which one of you likes genocide? Most? Okay.
So, it cuts away then back to the main battle. Doom and Thanos meet on the battlefield, and Doom offers Thanos, hey, if you stop fighting right now, you can be a baron in Battleworld. You'll have a land you can rule over. You'll be so happy in this world, I promise.
That's so nice of him to give him one little area of his planet.
And Thanos refuses, saying, I know what it's like to be a god, and you are a weak god.
Doom's not going to like that. Doom
says, you were a god when you had the Infinity Gauntlet. Do you have an Infinity Gauntlet right now? Thanos says, I don't need an Infinity Gauntlet to beat you. Doom, very famous comic panel, punches through his chest, grabs him by the spine, and rips out his goddamn skeleton. And he says, that appears untrue.
Oh, shit.
The coldest
so
shit you can imagine.
It's like, even in, like, Doom is going to lose, but he's going to go out with style, is what Doom is going to go with. Like, he's going to do some one-liners, some quips. He's going to have some badass moments where he rips people's spines and skeletons out just for the crack.
Doom is pure aura at this point.
He's just aura farming at all times.
Yeah, just doing the coolest shit imaginable. After this, T'Challa and Namor arrive with the Marvel zombies. Doom still tries to reason with them and offers them a new Wakanda and a new Atlantis. Both of the boys refuse, and T'Challa uses the Infinity Gauntlet to turn Doom to ice, and Namor throws his trident and shatters Doom into dozens of pieces.
Game over. We're done.
That's what they think. But they also say, nah, it's not going to be that easy. Doom reforms. All the ice melts and he comes out with the liquid and he says, that hurt. And they start fighting. Infinity Gauntlet versus God King Doom. And
I assume Namor just gets his spine ripped out immediately before it starts.
Namor takes a back seat in the fight, I would say.
Yeah, if I was Namor, I'd say, here, T'Challa, this is on you. You go first. I'll see how you get on. And then I might come in later on when he's distracted.
You wear him down. And
you wear him down like opening a jar. You give it a go for a few minutes.
So back to Susan Storm and Reed Richards. So the mainline Reed Richards. Sue saw him on the hologram earlier and accuses him of killing Doctor Strange. Reed says, no, I didn't kill him. That was Doom. Susan replies, you mean God? Reed replies, I mean Victor.
I mean, that shithead. That's what I fucking mean, Sue.
That fucking loser.
That shithead dickhead. He's been annoying me since I was 19 years old. The little prick.
So they tell Sue everything. And Valeria confirms it as well based on what she's figured out. So Sue's like, fuck it. Go down the trapdoor. So, Reed and the Maker both go down to Owen Reese. He says, did you bring me anything to eat?
He's got a kind of a catchphrase at this point.
It's a bit of a catchphrase. He says no, and he's like, that's really disappointing. Maker then traps Reed in a temporal bubble. So it's a specific bubble where the Maker can control the flow of time.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, I am absolutely in shock that evil Reed Richards turned on slightly less evil Reed Richards. I am absolutely in awe of what's about to happen.
So he makes time flow backwards through Reed and devolves him into an ape.
Fucking hell.
Because he says Reed is weak because he cares for his family.
Yeah.
And he has a quote, "Who's interested in a weepy god?" To which Owen Rees replies, "I am."
Oh.
Owen then slices the Maker into bits like salami.
He Scarlet Witches him.
He Scarlet Witches him, turns him into little fucking ribbons.
Right.
Kills him, fixes Reed, and says, "You better get ready."
I feel like this might be controversial, Shaun, but I don't know if Reed's the right man to be God. I don't know.
That'll come into things.
I suppose he's the best of a bad lot currently.
Of all the picks we have at the minute, he's probably the one.
We've got two evil, maniacal, genocidal maniacs, and Reed, he's a dickhead. But, I mean, I suppose we can back him.
Yeah, and so it cuts back to the main battle. Doom and T'Challa are fighting. Doom gets the upper hand. T'Challa's mask is shattered. But Doom realises T'Challa is smiling. Because T'Challa was never meant to win this fight. He just had to distract Doom long enough.
It's fucking good. It's
for Reed to do
good.
His thing. He teleports to the chamber. Pure rage.
Yeah.
He says, "Richards, you had to meddle, didn't you?"
I would have got away with it for virtue fucking pesky Reeds.
He tries to kill Reed. He says, "You're done." He tries to kill Reed by snapping his fingers. Nothing happens. Owen has taken away his power. Owen says, "Did you bring me anything to eat?"
Oh, lads.
Doom says no, and he says, "Well, you're basically both the same then, aren't you?"
I brought you a knuckle sandwich. That's what I fucking brought you, Reese. Give me back my powers.
So Reed and Doom start fighting. Like, just fist fighting at this point. Because there's no power. Like, Reed can stretch, but Doom can't use magic, none of that. Reed can't use his science. So they're just fighting. They're two sides of the same coin. It's one of the coolest comic pages I've ever seen. It's like 64 squares, and it alternates each square left to right. A part of Reed Richards' face, a part of Doom's face, a part of Reed Richards' face, a part of Doom's face. Oh. And they're having this debate the whole time about the nature of what it is to be a ruler and to be a leader. They're two sides of the same coin. Reed says, "The first thing you did when you became God was you took my family."
Yeah.
And Doom is like, "Of course I did. But you think you could do so much better, don't you?" Reed replies, "Yes, and we both know it, don't we?" And Doom, like, tied up in Reed Richards at this point, getting the shit beat out of him, very small font in the text box, says, "Yes, damn you." And then Owen Rees says, "Oh, okay, as long as you both agree." Big explosion. The world ends.
Again.
This particular section of the story ends with Black Panther holding the reality gem in his bare hand. And he uses it to recreate Wakanda.
Of course he does.
So, because he just wants to make sure his entire game, this entire series has been Wakanda's gonna survive.
Gotta be honest with you, T'Challa really should just be God. Then just probably the most logical leader if you want to pick him.
He'd be a good God. He would be a good God. Story then cuts. Miles awakens in the prime Marvel universe.
And that's how we have Miles in our current universe.
Yeah, because Miles was kind to Owen and gave him some food. And Owen said, "I owe you one."
And so he kept him alive and then moved him across.
Also, both of Miles' parents are alive again.
Because they were both dead?
His mother was dead at the time.
Okay. No, you know what, it's such, obviously it's a massive story, it has like so many repercussions, but it's one of the best things that has come out of it is that you do have Miles come across and that he's now like a Spider-Man in the 616 universe, in the mainline Marvel universe.
Mm-hmm. Like, and him and Peter are Spider-Men together.
Yeah, so good.
They meet on a rooftop and Peter's like, you want to go fight some crime, Spider-Man? And he's like, yep, sounds good. And they swing off.
You know what that means? It means they can have a night off every now and then.
Yeah, they can alternate, you know? So it then cuts to a moon. And on that moon is a lot of the kids from the Future Foundation, Valeria and Franklin Richards, Susan Storm and Reed Richards, and the Molecule Man. And so Franklin comes up with ideas for universes. They take a portion of Owen Reese and put them into that universe. And then Mr. Fantastic uses the power of the Beyonders to throw that universe off into the void. And this is how Fantastic Four were written out of comics for a good few years, is that they were in space just making universes.
Like remaking them?
Remaking them. Franklin would come up with ideas and then they would make universes.
Because Franklin is also a god, but in this scenario his dad is now a bigger god?
Yeah, and there's this lovely exchange and Franklin is like, does this mean we're not superheroes anymore? And Mr. Fantastic says, no, but we're still doing good. So we're not like, I'm not Mr. Fantastic, I'm just dad for a while.
But to remake it, that's such a cool way to remake all the universes.
Exactly, and it means anything can happen now. Nothing is pre-established. And throughout all of this, Mr. Fantastic had this theory, everything dies. So like entropy, all energy will run out eventually. But he has turned around throughout the course of the story, and now he's like, there's always hope, and there will always be a struggle to survive. Like
he's kind of changed his worldview around.
He has, to the point that the story ends on a shot of Latveria and it starts pushing in closer and closer to the balcony of Castle Doom. And Dr. Doom walks out without the mask because Reed Richards fixed his face. And
Doom not gonna like that.
But no, Doom laughs and he's happy. And the last line of the story is, everything lives.
Fuck.
And
well done.
That's Secret Wars, bud.
Oh my god. Look, this...
Oh, lad, please, continue.
We'll give Shaun a clap. We'll give him an ovation. He finally finished 3 parts. I think
Not bad.
That's fantastic stuff. Because that's such a good story, start to finish. There's a lot in it. There's so many things happening at any given time that if people are confused, that's okay. But there's so many characters, so many things involved. I think we've covered all of them in Hero Zeros at some stage.
Most of them. There's a couple, as I was writing it, I realised I hadn't covered them, but they'll be covered in coming weeks.
Yeah. But, I mean, I thought that was fantastic. I think it's a good ending. And I love just Doom. I love when Doom is like in the lead for a long time and then he gets his comeuppance at the end because it's just like, classic Doom.
But I like how he gets the chance to be just the big boss, you know?
Yeah. And so are Fantastic Four back in comics or are they're
back in comics now. They only came back, I think, so Secret Wars was 2015. They only came back maybe 2021. Okay. I think it was. So like Johnny Storm and Ben were around. They weren't on the world creating side of things, but they joined other teams and they just existed solo for a while. Okay,
all right. Yeah, I thought that was great.
Thanks,
if you like what you heard here, we'd really appreciate 5 stars. We're going for the 1150 5-star reviews.
Come on, if that doesn't warrant something.
If anything will get us there, hopefully these 3 parts will. Maybe we can put a supercut together if you wanted, and we can just release
the main. Just like as an extra, just like here's everything all at once.
And so if you like what you heard here, as I said, we've done hundreds of character reports, covered all of DC and Marvel. If you have a favourite character that we have not covered, please send them in to us, especially on Blue Sky or on Instagram or however you want to follow us. Send us in any of your favourite characters, or on Spotify down below there's a comment section. Just comment it there, we'll see it. Jessica Cruz was commented like 3 weeks ago. We seen that, we did it last week. So as I said, if you liked what you heard, there's loads of options there if you want to get involved. I want to thank Shaun for all the hard work that he's put in over the last few reports.
I'd like to thank Conor for listening to me for all.
No, I didn't really do anything. So I've been Conor Lawler.
I've been Shaun Meehan.
And we shall see you all next week, guys.
Bye.